We're out here in South College Station looking at a new builder to us. It's actually a third generation builder. Beautiful home in Millican Reserve. Let's go.
So today I am standing on the very big porch of this Southern Creek home. We're going to take a fabulous tour today and have so much to talk about, different aspects of this house that we'll cover some of it on the tour, and then Jeff and I are actually going to sit down afterwards and talk about some energy efficiency points about this house that are kind of mind-blowing. So let's get started. Okay, come on in. So I am going to first give you some of the typical stats about the house so that you know what we're looking at. This home is 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. It is 4,285 square feet. They're asking almost 1.2. It's 1.19900, and that puts it at $280 a foot. We're on an acre, and we're out here in Millican Reserve, which is an area that is on the southwest side of College Station. I think actually we're not even in the city limits but we are obviously still in Brazos County. So you do have septic and propane out here. So this house is really cool. It has some really modern features, but then it has some warmth to it also. So we're gonna take a look and check it out. Okay, so I'm standing in the foyer. First of all, struck by all these beautiful white walls. It's really cool. So to my left, we have the study. And actually I checked, they have TV hookup on this wall right here. So this could be used as like another TV room if you wanted to do that instead of use it as a study. But you also have these really pretty French doors to close this room off. All the floors through the bottom of the house are the white oak, and this is an engineered wood. It's not the LVP, it's engineered wood, so that's nicer. And it's part of what adds warmth to this modern feel of the white with the black windows. Very large, open gathering space. Family room, living room, really cool, and kind of draws your attention. The black wood paneled fireplace mantle. Well, what do you call the whole wall part? I don't know what you call that whole part. Do you know, Jeff? Because a mantle is the wood going across. But anyway, it's really cool. It draws your eye. It's a great focal point. And I checked again, they do have TV hookup behind the painting on that. So that's where the TV would go.
Or you could do the wall behind you if they don't want the TV above the fireplace.
Oh, absolutely. But they already have the hookup set up for above the fireplace. Gotcha. That's just, yeah, you could put it over there definitely if you wanted to. There's, outlets at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think the ceilings in here are probably 14 feet tall, 12 feet tall in the other parts of the house downstairs. Something I noticed right when we came in and started turning on the lights is how great the lighting is. Sometimes you walk in houses and we're like, oh my gosh, the lighting's not that great. This house has fabulous lighting. They've got recessed lighting throughout the entire house. And I don't know what kind of bulbs they use, but they use really great bulbs. And then coming into the kitchen area, obviously it's open to the living area. Again, just aesthetically, it's like taking a nice deep breath. You have a good mixture of the modern, simple, smooth look with some warmth because we have the floors that blend really beautifully with all of the wood cabinetry. And then I thought it was really cool. I noticed, you know how I am about my symmetry. I was standing here and I thought, okay, the center of these windows line up with that light that lines up with this pendant and that fan and that light, and it's centered on that wall over there, and it's centered in the middle of this island. Good job. That's probably much harder to actually do than one would think, and it's one of those things that if it's not done well, you notice it. So we have a great, beautiful quartz island top here. It is 9.5 feet long, almost 9.5 feet, and about 4.5 feet wide. I measured it, but it was a little while ago, so I'm kind of forgetting, but that's about the dimensions of this. So plenty of room. Again, not too much room where you can't really get to the middle, but you've got great space for serving and people hanging out over here in this area. I thought it was really cool the simple vent hood they have above the stove. So again, you have all-in-one unit stove here so that you don't have appliances on the wall up high so that visually it doesn't, obviously you have a refrigerator, but otherwise it's not breaking up the look of the modern feel. And this backsplash, it's got some texture to it and it's a little bit warmer. And so it ties in beautifully with this countertop. And again, without having any contrast, it adds a little warmth to it.
Yeah, what's nice about having warmth in a modern home is that the cabinetry is, like you said, wood cabinetry. It's not painted. But what makes it more modern is you don't have any trim or beveling on the cabinets. They're flat panel, and the handles are just a little tab. For both the drawers and the cabinetry. And then you can, like you said, bring in more warmth with the tile. So it's an imperfect tile, gives some texture to it. And then you've got your dark appliances. So it's a great mix of going modern, but not too modern to where you lose the warmth.
Right. So I think it opens it up to more people. It makes it more appealing to a larger audience. I like how you've got your trash to the right of the sink, and then the dishwasher to the left. So efficient. You're scrape, wash, rinse, and stick in there. One of my faves, all the windows in this house are casement windows. There is just something so pleasurable about opening casement windows. Like, I just love casement windows. I don't think that one's ever been opened before. Anyway, these are through the entire house, casement windows. And I just, you go places like Colorado, and they're really common in other parts of the country. They are a treat down here in Texas. You do not see these very often. And so when I was talking to the builder on the phone and he told me they were through the entire house, I almost dropped the phone. I mean, it's fantastic. So what a treat. We have casement windows through the entire house. And these are actually, and they're Anderson 100 windows. And so he did not spare any expense, certainly, with the windows. And we'll talk more about that at the end, because that's just a little tidbit to let you know about how he built this whole house. Okay, I just have to say, off camera, Jeff just had to give me a little lesson on how to open casement windows, because I made that look a lot harder than it is. I didn't do it right. Anyway, there is an art to it. Just so lovely. Okay, so coming over here, I noticed that this side is wider than that side. And I kind of would suspect that's by design, because you've got your fridge right here and you think of people in and out of the refrigerator. So it's nice that you have like literally 5 feet of space between the refrigerator and the island, so it doesn't get congested. And you also have almost 4 feet of space between the sink, the long side of this. You have almost 4 feet of space, so you can have 2 people working or moving around over here without getting in each other's way. So that's a great feature. Something else I want to mention now that I've noticed that I'll point out as we go through the house is the storage. They did a great job of having a lot of storage, but kind of hiding it, making it seem pretty understated, which fits with the design of the home. So when you come around, just here at the bottom, there's cabinetry all along the island where the bar stools are. So you've got some storage there that's very unassuming, does not draw your attention, as opposed to other homes that are more traditional where you see, cabinetry and things for storage, and they're made to draw your eye to it. So over here you have your dining area that, obviously, yes, it is open, but still, again, I'm a fan of having it set up this way because it still creates its own little zone. So it's still open to the living room and the kitchen, but with it being off to the side, it's creating its own area. And it's a nice size. I think it's like 12 by 13 or 12 by 14. So you can get a much bigger table in here and still have plenty of space to move around.
Yeah, and with having windows on 2 walls, you can bring the ceiling down slightly to create some more intimacy, but still get that great natural.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. Good point. Yeah. So, okay, we will head back to the primary, which is going to be right over here down this hall. Just love the windows. Oh, something else. I will point to it when you can get a close shot, but just right here's a closet here down this hall. Here we have our guest bathroom, the little half bathroom. And then this is a garage. So look at this. Does this look like your typical drop zone? No, not at all. We don't see hooks or open cubbies. We have some pretty shelves that are open, but then we have hidden storage. And so this could still be like a drop zone to throw your junk, but no one's gonna see it. You're gonna put it inside the cabinet. And then when you turn down this way to come down this hallway, we have another closet right here. And then we have the laundry room. They really got a lot of bang for your buck here at this laundry room. It's not particularly large, and so I like that, and that you're not wasting square footage on the laundry room. But you've got the sink, they give you a window, you have a bar for hanging, and then tons of cabinet space in here, upper and lower cabinetry in the laundry room. So this hallway leads us to the primary suite, and it really feels like a legitimate suite because of how far, we came down a little hallway, then we're turning down another hallway, and we have this door, which these are solid wood doors, and they're all 8 feet tall throughout the entire house, and they're all solid wood. It lends to just the solid feel and quality of build. You get that when you have these solid doors. So coming into the suite, we have a barn door going into the primary bathroom, but we're gonna keep walking this way to get into the actual bedroom. And here we have double set of doors going out to the back patio, enclosed patio. I don't want to spill the beans about that secret yet. And then we have the bedroom. So it's a nice, large space. We have this entire wall of windows. It's so lovely. And then those 2 windows, and these little side tables measure almost 31 inches each. You could go up to 33 inches wide and still be able to center everything. Like the tables wouldn't be, off centered underneath the windows. So you could get, even a little bit bigger side tables, and those are plenty big. They're not small by any means. So just again, thinking about symmetry and the thought that has to go into spacing, where to put windows and the dimensions of a king size bed. So a little detail that I loved was the way they beveled all the trim around the doors and windows. There's a little beveled edge here, and it's just a nice little feature. And then the deep windowsills, and you have the tall baseboards going all the way around. And I noticed there's not the trim around the ceiling, and that is just more of the modern feel. It's just a smooth, it's all the same color, and they don't have any trim up there, no trim around the windows, very simple, modern feel. And then you have another set of doors. So you have 2 sets of doors going outside from the primary suite. And I like how...
Yeah, and that is almost its own little patio back there.
Oh, it is. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't specify that. That's correct. These are 2 different patios. So you have like a private patio over here. Yeah, you could kind of say private. It does connect, but it's its own little area. And then you have the large patio going out these doors, but both of these are in the primary suite. I'm gonna start doing that on purpose, making you walk into stuff. So coming into the primary bathroom, again, it's just laid out nicely. You have your toilet over there. We have the closet. It's a shared closet over here, but it's really large. You have some very deep chests of drawers, 2 sets, a nice big window in there. And then here in the primary bath, beautiful tub. I love that the window is not frosted. It's just a window, and then the trees that you're looking at. And then you have the big shower, and it has a bench across the back of that shower as well. And then the separate sinks, pretty open storage to put your towels, easy to access. And then I actually turned all the lights off earlier and just had the natural light in here, and man, it's a serene space. Okay, we're going to head upstairs to check out the rest of the house. So we came upstairs, and there's this nice landing area, nice and wide, plenty of space. And we'll come into this room, and wow, what a big space. This room has no windows. It is intentionally going to be for theater or something where you want it to be dark. I have to actually say, I was looking at a different house that has a room like this, and it was built specifically, they called it a dark room for people who do shift work and need to be able to sleep during the day. And I thought, that's a really good idea. So it could serve that purpose as well. This room is huge. It's 12 feet by 25 feet. So you've got plenty of space in here. And then they have this built-in area with the refrigerator, the shelves, and the storage and countertop. So obviously serves a great purpose for being like a movie theater room. And we also have 2 bedrooms up here that are guest suites. And we have another huge closet. Like, I have to show you this one because it's so big. That's a big storage closet. So again, just lots of storage in this house, but you don't see it. It's not like jumping out at you. So these two, we could probably come in one of these because they're both the exact same size. These rooms are 13 by 13. Very nice size for guest bedrooms. They both have the 2 windows. And this is one window box with the 2 different windows in it. The other bedroom has 2 separate windows that are on either side of the same wall. And they each have their own bathroom with large closets. And so you have showers in both of them. They each have their own shower, and they each have their own closet, and they are large walk-in closets. I'm sure that you've got some pictures that'll pop up. But so you've got great guest suites right here, very comfortable space, large bedrooms. And they've got carpet up here, which I thought, oh, that makes it's comfortable. It's nice, it's good carpet. It feels good to walk on. It probably helps with sound downstairs and just helps create separate spaces for people. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe and share this video with your friends. Helps the algorithm, and we'd like to know your thoughts. Okay, so we're back downstairs. You might be thinking, Tara, you said it was 4 bedroom, 4.5 bath. Where's the other bedroom and bathroom? Well, I'm about to show you. We have a guest house right back here we're going to go through. But before we do that, a really big surprise.
One of my favorites.
Oh my goodness, Jeff he's gonna die. Loves it.
A screened and huge porch.
Yes.
Which just makes added living space.
Oh my gosh. I ran a tape measure. I'm old school. Got the measure out. This is over 1,000 square feet of additional living space. I walked through this house before they did this. It transforms the space, the fact that they screened it in. Like Jeff has talked about screened in porches for a while, and I've never really experienced one, so I didn't really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I get it now. I'm all in. I've drunk the screened porch Kool-Aid, I guess. It is a fabulous space. It really turns it into another living space. There's a hookup for the television right there. It's seriously over 1,000 square feet of additional living space.
Yeah.
They've got the fans. You've got the ability to have this. I mean, I feel the breeze right now, kind of coming through this area. And look at this kitchen, this outdoor kitchen.
Yeah, and it's great that they did the vent hood over the grill, because you are in kind of an enclosed area. So if you had the wind blowing in a direction, you get smoke in the porch. But they've got a nice, super strong vent.
Right.
And a great outdoor kitchen.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Was they have the vent hood over the grill. You have a refrigerator, the sink. There's a built-in trash can. We have heavy-duty covered outlets out here. This is 10 feet long, 3.5, 4 feet wide. Again, you've got another kitchen basically outside and another living area outside. So this was kind of mind-blowing. I've not seen this locally before. Then outside the screened porch, you've got a fire pit. And I thought it's positioned perfectly, because if you do have a TV on this wall and people are watching a game or whatever, they can still engage and watch that from the fire pit. It's not too far away. It's, in the right spot to be able to see the TV. And so over here we have one of the sets of double doors that were in the primary suite coming out onto this porch. And that other set is actually back there facing towards the backyard.
Yeah, and I love the privacy that this lot offers. Look at the trees and everything out there. So
yeah, every window you look out, you see trees.
Yeah,
which
really
is
designed for outdoor living.
Yeah,
it actually feels better out here.
It's lovely. Yeah, it feels great out here. Okay, so now we are actually going to get to the little guest house, which is where that other bedroom and bathroom are. Okay, so we've stepped inside the guest house. And I wanted to point out that very thoughtful that they frosted this glass, because it does open up to that cover, the screened-in porch, so it provides some privacy there. So that's frosted. To my right, we have the bedroom. To my left, we have the bathroom. So this bathroom actually has what do you call it? You said the term earlier for a shower. Curbless. The curbless shower. So very handy if someone has some accessibility issues with getting over a ledge or something. That's the kind of shower you have in this bathroom. And then you have this living area, again, with beautiful windows and light and the trees, bringing that green inside. And you have this little living area, a little dining area, a space for a full-size refrigerator and the sink. So someone could very easily, you could have some long-term guests staying out here that would be pretty self-sufficient. I mean, you could bring in a hot plate, microwave, or a couple little things like that, and they'd be set. And then the bedroom is about 12 by 13 in size, and then it has like a standard full-size closet in it. And so this is a very comfortable, lovely in-law suite or grandparent suite or just guest suite. So I wanted to talk about some of the energy efficiency aspects that this builder uses, and also just kind of introduce the builder.
Right.
I'd have my notes with me because we talked on the phone for a while. Good. So, okay, so this is Southern Creek Homes.
Okay.
Have you worked with them?
I have not.
Okay, I have not either. Great conversation. He said that it's he and his brother, he said they're third generation builders, so they're very familiar with construction, grew up around it, and they've been building about 10 years.
Okay.
And this is only the second home they've built in College Station. They've built quite a bit in Traditions and Bryan, and they've done a lot of customs. He said it is not their prerogative and goal to build 50 houses a year or something. They like taking the time to be very meticulous, and they like doing more custom work. They're not opposed to spec houses. Obviously this is a spec house, although nothing about it feels like a spec house, but that's just not their jam. So they are sticking to what their vision, and part of that vision is having a lot of energy efficiency aspects in the home.
Okay. So are we talking LED lighting? Are we talking the casement windows? What are we talking about?
Well, he said that, yes, that is why he uses the casement windows. He said, I said, why don't other people use them? I love them. You see them in other parts of the country. And he said, well, they're a lot more expensive, but they seal better.
Okay.
So that is the purpose for using the casement windows. They seal better. And I noticed they have some paperwork sitting out, and this home is actually Energy Star rated. That is
a big deal.
Very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I've talked to some other builders who are more mass production building, and they are still heading that direction, but not there yet. So it's a very high bar to be Energy Star rated, and this builder does build that way. So they have that certification, and they have another one with the EPA that I can't think of the name of, but they have another certification for energy standards being met.
So let's talk about insulation then. And we've got tall ceilings, we've got casement windows, but what's in the walls?
Okay, so he said it is R22 bibs, which means it's blown in batting. Okay. So what that means is that they blow it into a contained area, so obviously inside the walls, and it fills the entire space.
Gotcha.
Which is different from something that's rolled.
Or spray foam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it fills the entire cavity. They use the spray foam on the rafters. So the roof is the spray foam.
Right.
And then the bibs is in the walls.
Which, using that spray foam up in the rafters and things like that, we've said in other videos where you get where the attic is within the contained space. So it's temperature.
Right. Yes, it makes a huge difference in the temperature of the attic. It makes it much more accessible to use that space. I've got a sheet here and look at my notes real quick. So he mentioned that everything with their homes is engineered. They work with engineers through the entire process, from the slab and soil testing all the way to the last example he gave was talking about the HVAC unit. So he will get with the engineer and say, this is a type of HVAC system I have. This is, obviously they have the plans and see how large the rooms are. This is how large the ducts are. And that engineer will tell him exactly how much air pressure they need going into each room.
Okay.
And then of course, the fresh air intakes, because this house is sealed tight.
Yeah. And that's one thing to remember, that when you're in a home like this and you have to replace AC unit, they have to understand the tonnage and things like that from another home. So all big deal things. You save a lot of money doing the energy efficient stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You do. So the big one, the last one that I was like, that's mind blowing. I've never heard that in my life. Well, apparently not many people have in this area, because they use something called an aerobarrier. And he said, I don't know if it was with this house or a different house, but he said that the inspectors from the city of Bryan came out and watched this happen. They watched this demonstration of using this aerobarrier because nobody was familiar with it. So the way he explained it is, it's computerized, obviously, so I can watch it, but they spray this into a home, and it's like this acrylic substance that they spray into a home.
Almost
Creates
like a mist.
Yes, it's like a fog. He described it as being a fog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the house is pressurized. And so what that acrylic does is it goes through the house like this, and it's in the framing stage. So it's not completely finished. It's in the framing stage. And it goes through the house and it finds all the openings. And anywhere there's a leak, it fills the space up.
Yeah. So with places where you could see a leak, you could see it around the windows. You could see it in a doorway when they put in the doors and things like that. They use shims and things like that, which keeps kind of a space in order to make it level. So that will kind of close up those gaps.
Yes.
You
All
can
your
even get it,
outlets.
yeah.
Any hole.
And your outlets, yeah, and your vents up here. So a lot of different spaces where this could be used.
Right. So like there's another builder, they'll go in and they said they caulk around all of the outlets, but this is going into every possible space that air could escape, and it fills it because of what it is made of. I thought that was really interesting. And you talk about airtight.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you think?
I'm impressed. People, I guess the biggest thing that I kept telling you throughout this was it's a modern take, but still very warm and comfortable.
Yes.
And screened and porch, I'd be living out there.
Right. And then all the energy efficiency aspects of it that people don't realize. Like you don't know that just walking through the house, but man, those are important.
Yeah, and you're on 1 acre of land. So you get the privacy behind you with the trees and things like that. You've got even the front porch. So you can sit out on the front porch. You've got your open space here, but you've got the privacy of the primary being back in the corner.
Yes.
The other bedrooms, and then of course that suite out there.
And 'cause you're right, when you talk about privacy on this lot, I mean, it's an acre. There are other areas where they have acre lots, but if it's prairie,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you're still just like, hi neighbor, hi neighbor, hi
You're
neighbor.
still waving to your neighbor. Yeah.
It's a little further away.
Right, right.
It is a visual, aesthetic, I use that word way too much. I need to look that up in the thesaurus. But anyway, it is lovely to look out all the windows here and see green.
Yeah.
Every window.
We'll do another video where we talk about the Millican Reserve itself. But
we
it's
should.
a great neighborhood. It is just starting to be built out. We're on kind of a cul-de-sac here with just a few homes. They're putting in a pool and one of the new homes over here. So, and Millican is a reserve.
It is.
And they have bike trails, they have walking trails, they have all kinds of stuff. So we'll do a different video on that.
Yeah.
But we would love to hear your opinion on this home. Do you prefer traditional? Do you prefer modern? Is this a good take? Like I personally think on kind of mixing the two. And let me know what you think about a screened in porch.
Oh yeah, very curious to see what people think about those.
Yeah. So just remember, we've helped people just like you find the right place at the right time.
Right here.